Hi, my name is Cora Edwards. I am a quantum energy healer and hypnotherapist, past life regression practitioner. I wanted to do a brief introduction today. So what I've been experimenting with recently is I recorded my own induction so that I could use it for myself for the purpose of sort of getting myself into a deeper meditative state than normal meditation so that I could ask for answers in the same way that you would during a hypnosis session, which has proved really interesting. So I wanted to share some recent things that have come through. So obviously we're all going through this ascension process, which can be difficult and painful, and the simplest things can seem so hard. Even us as practitioners, we're all on our own journey of healing, whatever that will look like for each individual person, whatever they've been through in their life. We all designed it for ourselves, so it's all working out exactly as it should be. Anyway, so my particular issue that I was having recently was with my children. So my son is slightly on the spectrum, he's had trouble at school. We're in the process of moving from one location to another. I've been guided by my Syrian family of light that that's where I need to move to for this next stage of my evolutionary journey. So it's near the seaside, and apparently because I'm from this Syrian collective of higher dimensional beings, their energy and frequency moves through the water, and that is how their message reaches me most proficiently. So, excuse me when I move my cat. So, I did this hypnosis session, and initially it didn't seem to have any relevance to the question that I'd asked. But as it progressed, I was seeing myself in the life of Pocahontas. And in the past life regression that I did, I was seeing that she left behind her one child. And I saw a female, but when I looked up the history of Pocahontas, apparently she left one son. So thinking about what I was shown, I'm thinking now that the imagery that I was shown was Pocahontas herself as a very small girl, with the intention of demonstrating to me that her lineage was left behind. So her soul essence was left behind in her child, because I feel that that was the purpose for her marrying into the family that she did. So it's quite an interesting one. But the main message that came through really was something that I wanted to share with you, because the purpose of what they were trying to tell me was basically this, which is that everything always boils down to love. But as I went for a walk afterwards later in the day, I was hearing force begets more force. So it was just the message that I didn't know what that meant, actually. So begets is quite an old-fashioned word that I don't use myself. I didn't understand the full meaning of it, so I looked it up. And when I looked it up, the meaning was that force or aggression. Sorry, this cat is very, very difficult. Right, where are we? So, using force or aggression towards another person is likely to provoke a retaliatory response of equal or greater force, essentially creating a cycle of violence where the act of aggression leads to another. And then I was told love creates more love. So that was very specifically, it felt like that was in italics. You can have something in italics when you hear it clairaudiently, because we don't create when we use force. We push against our own evolution. That's what I was told. And we come head to head with our own internal aggression. So we can only with love and joy can we create. That's the golden law of the universe. And love is the only creational force. And that is why it's the only route to our own evolution. So that was what I wanted to share with you prior to sharing the short personal meditation that I did. And I thought it was just really interesting that I had that lifetime, because I had recently done an Akashic reading for a lovely young lady that came to me, who I then realised was also from my own soul family of the Sirius Collective. And interestingly, her guide was Pocahontas. And so, yeah, so it all sort of tied together. It all came around full circle. And I love it when things just all align and come together. And so I just thought I would do a little introduction, and then I would share the voice note that I took for myself, because I think that we're all in that process at the moment. And sometimes we can say, how do I cope with this stage of my journey? What do I do for the best? And I think what my higher self always says is that love is the only answer. So go back to love. So I've got a cat's tail and a cat's bottom of my camera. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Goodbye. And speak to you again. Oh. What I was seeing was a very dark wood, and what I was sensing was a wolf. I could see stars in the sky. It feels like I'm in a wood, which is like a pine forest. Feels very much like a pine forest. I could imagine the pine smell here. Quite empty underfoot, so not a lot grows underfoot because it's the acid from the soil. It doesn't really allow any light or growth. And there's starry sky, and it feels like there's snow. It feels quite cold. Snow, not under here, under the trees, but in the distance a little more. And I get a sense of a wolf. I'm going to look down at my body. I feel like I am a wolf, actually. I am a wolf. So I'm in the trees, and I am a wolf, and I'm... What colour am I? I'm grey. And then the wolf that I am is becoming just a hood. My son's like just the wolf part on my head, and like wearing it like a cape almost. So it's like I can change between the two. I can change between a wolf, and I can change into just wearing this wolf skin. And I feel like I can jump onto a horse now, or I'm with a horse, and I'm riding through this wood. So I feel like I've got this strong connection to the wolf energy. I don't know if I can morph into a wolf. I can be a wolf. But now I'm riding this horse, and we can go really fast. It almost feels like I can go really fast as me, almost as fast as a horse. I can run through this wood really fast, like superhuman speed. I can get from where I need to go incredibly quickly on my own two legs. Like they were showing me a horse so they could make me realise that I can go really fast, I can move really fast. So I could almost like imagine that I want to be somewhere, and I can be like, whew, there. It's like I'm going to a village up on the slopes of the mountain. So I feel like I've got brown skin, slightly tribal looking. My hair's long, it's tied back. I look like an American Indian type thing. And I heard the word Pocahontas. Am I Pocahontas? I'm hearing yes, you are. Pocahontas is the daughter of a chief, but she is a wolf. She's part of the wolf tribe. She can shapeshift. So I'm sort of wearing skins, animal skins. I feel like I've got a bow and arrow sort of slung over my back, maybe. I just feel like moccasins, traditional Indian wear with beads and stuff. I feel like I'm entering a wigwam now. So it felt like the skin lifted back and I walked inside. And it feels very homely inside. It feels warm. It feels like there must be a fire here. I feel like I'm greeting people by doing sort of putting my hands together and doing a small bow. It feels like this is the elders here. I've gathered with news. It feels like the white man is coming ever closer. And they've gone as far away as they can. They're up in the highest mountain. They can't go any further away. So it feels like they've reached the point of no return. Their lands have been taken. It's like they're feeling like they need to stand their ground, or they'll lose everything. They'll lose their whole freedom. And they're telling Pocahontas that have agreed to sell her or trade her, or like, as an exchange, if she will marry into their tribe, they are promising an exchange, promising some lands, in exchange for a bride. And they know that she's a magical being. She has great gifts, but more than is humanly possible, and so she will be safe, because nothing can touch her. Energetically, she is as wise as now, as so she can slither through the grass like a snake and be hidden. She's got the strength of a bear and the speed of a wolf. They know she is unique. And they don't feel there's anyone else that can do this except for her. They're asking her if she agrees to volunteer. It's almost like her lineage, her children, carry all of these totem animals within them, and they know that if you can't beat them, join them, almost. So when those children and their genetic lineage is part of that race, their genetics will help to alleviate the suffering of the people, because it'll be like they'll be on both sides. That is what they knew. They had to break the system from the inside, sending their codes through into those that wish to harm them or wish to harm the land. It's the safety of all of the animal kingdoms, the land, the water, the sky. They are the guardians of Earth. And the white man did not understand all of this as they did, their connection. And they wished to teach him. And this was the agreement. Pocahontas agreed to this. So I'm now seeing a horse. The chief is on the horse. She is behind, on the back of the horse behind him. And they decide to go off down the mountain and go to the white man's village, where it's a traditional cowboy type place. So it's built up with wood and it's dusty. It's something you'd see on a cowboy and western film. It's dusty ground. They're down into so they sort of they're looking for silver here. It's like a silver panning for gold or silver. It's like a mining district. Oh. And I see sort of white people, there's cowboy type people, but there's also the army, wearing dark blue uniforms with brass buttons. Looks like they're here to meet, an official meeting. And Pocahontas is speaking to them for her father. She's stepping forward. She's telling the people that she's been carried by the wind. She's been blessed by the rain. The animals come with her. She will come with them, but they cannot take her freedom, because she is a part of the natural landscape and the natural world. So if she comes with them, she still respectfully asks that she will be given this freedom to travel when she needs to commune with nature, the stars, the land. because without that, she will be nothing, and her spirit will be broken. So she will go with them, and the understanding she still gets to connect in a quiet place every day, because she's not supposed to be in a town, in a home. She needs to have direct contact with the ground beneath her feet, beneath her, sitting on the ground, meditating in a quiet country space so she can see the stars. And this is what makes her whole. So this is agreed. I feel like there's a ship. She's going to their homeland. So she's leaving. She's on a ship, she's travelling. And she's wearing their sort of clothes, but she's watching everybody staring at her because she's different. And it feels very alien. What she's wearing doesn't really resonate with her energy frequency. It's not who she is. It's not her freedom to roam. On the boat, she's very constrained with the clothes, almost constrain her. And she's realising that all these women are not able to move, to breathe, to have their freedom. The clothes are almost designed to remove the freedom and the connection to the animal kingdom. See, the animal skins, fleeces, it's all given with love by the animals, and it's the human and the animal connection. They are one, because there's great reverence for the animals, for the sky. She's on the boat looking at the sky, sending love to the planets. And then she's arriving in the next place, I suppose it's England. It feels like a dock. Almost feels like Liverpool, but it feels quite, it's a dock, maybe it's London. But it's a city, wherever it is. It's a dirty, industrialised type place. It's smoke, coal smoke. It's quite grimy because it's built up. There's a lot of people. She's travelling through the street, and it feels like she's in a carriage, actually, like a horse and carriage. It feels like she's been in a horse and carriage. I can hear the clumping of the horse's feet on the, feels like what they called, like the round stones, the pebbles. And she's arriving at a house, and the house kind of almost looks like a tall terrace. It's like one of these Victorian-y looking houses. It's quite tall, with a basement with metal railings around it, like going up 3 stories with a basement as well, going up quite tall with an attic room. And she's looking up, and it's like huge, and she's never seen anything like this before. But she can still see the sky, and the birds are still behind. She's going in, and it's very beautiful. It's all painted, and it's very lovely. And she goes out into the garden behind. It does have a garden. And she's in the garden, and she's with the little birds. The birds are there singing, and they're sitting on her finger. And they come to her. And she sits on the ground, lays on the ground, and looks up at the sky. And she knows if she's got that connection to the ground and the sky and the birds, that she is always home, wherever she is. But she does miss her freedom and the open space. This is not the place for her. But she's here for now. So she makes the best of it. So I'm seeing her on a bed now. She's having a baby. Like it's all white, the white sheets, white bedclothes, white baby clothes, white lacy bonnet. It's like there's so much white cotton, such a lot of white cotton. Everything is surrounded by white cotton. There's white cotton everywhere. It's all white. It's a baby, and she's feeding the baby in bed. She is feeding the baby herself. And there's a nursery nurse there that they sort of have given, but she says, no, it's my baby. But it's almost like they've taken the baby away. Like she was feeding it, but they've taken the baby. She doesn't really understand what's going on. So the baby's taken to another room. And she's speaking with her husband, and she's trying to explain the baby's need. Her mother, he's saying that she's got more important things to do. She needs to be a representative. She needs to come out so people can see her out and about. She needs to be in society. That's sort of her role, is being in society. Other people can look after the child. Because he wants it to be brought up in the way of the sort of English people. And she wants to see the child with its little moccasins on, running around outside, being dirty, having fun, like she was, like part of the tribe, part of the group. And she realises it's going to be very hard and very different for these children, but they need to be a part of this world, this society. So she lets that go, but what she does instead is she tells them stories. She tells them all the stories. So she tells them the stories of where she came from, who she was, how she grew up, the tents, the animals, the space, all of the animals that she connects with. And as they're growing up, and they're really small and they're really young, and she tells them the stories all the time. And they have like their little play wigwam in their playroom. And they sit inside it and they imagine, with their imagination, that they are back home. She tries to tell them all the myths and legends so they remember. So they remember their roots, they remember what's important. Because all of the myths and the legends, they teach people how to be with integrity, how to be connected to the earth, to respect the earth and respect one another. And she wants them to have this ability. And then I'm seeing a funeral cart, like a horse and cart, but this one is a cart and it is black wood and it is like glass sides, and there's obviously a coffin inside with flowers on. It's all very formal. Everyone's in black. Everyone's quite sad. And I was getting the sense that one of them's a little girl, one of them's a little boy maybe. But the little girl, I just got that she's a little wolf. She's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Well, not in sheep's clothing, but the term wolf in sheep's clothing almost came from them, their people, because they are wolves, wolf people within their society. And they are wolves, they are here. And she's got like the brown skin and dark brown hair. Even though she's wearing all these clothes, she is that lineage, she is that tribe. She holds that tribe's knowledge within her. And she will be forgotten, but all the stories remain in her blood. So society will not remember she's there anymore, but her blood contains the lineage of her people. And that will be a part of this country now. And it was needed at that time because they hold the codes. They hold the codes of the Great Mother, the Great Cosmic Mother of all that is. The Pocahontas was the Divine Mother, almost like she held the codes of Gaia within her. She was, and she's looking down at her children as she's raised up. So looking down towards Earth now. She's sending love to her children. It's like she's now one of the stars again. She's one of the stars looking down. And when she cries, she's rain. She's in the water. She's the wolf. She's with the birds. Her essence is with everything in nature. She's the mother of all. And her essence will live on. Even though she's gone, you can connect with her within all of the elements. She's the Divine Mother of all. Princess, priestess. As I'm going up towards Source and she's passing away from this body and she's looking down to where she was, what was the purpose of her lifetime? I'm hearing to teach purity, to teach interconnectedness. I'm seeing a web of silver between all the elements and animals and people. And then I'm seeing her sneaking through the woods again to infiltrate the dark system with her light web. So once her blood was within this community, it sort of then would spread through quietly, and that is how you win a war, quietly infiltrating. And that's what the dark have tried to do with their dark web. They did it with their light web. Their light web infiltrated, and with their genetics in there, it's like all of the codes, the light codes, were part of that. And she's just watching her daughter from above and sending her love. Because she knows it won't be an easy role that she's taken, but she chose that as a soul. She chose that as a soul. And even though her daughter's sad that her mother's passed, it's going to be a hard journey for her in this lifetime. She chose that role. I'm seeing the daughter marrying an earl. I'm seeing a big, huge white house in the countryside. A big, big white house. She does marry into money. And it's like she has a lot of children. And they have a better life than Pocahontas would have done. They have the earth around them. As she goes up towards Source, and she's looking all around, I'm just going to ask, like, what star family is there? So I'm seeing light beings. So she is one of the 12. She's the 13th daughter of the flame. She's the 13th. So the 12 light beings, she's the 13th. She's joining back with the 13 now. And I get the sense of colour blue. But there are also some other colours. There's some rainbow colours. And they're sort of greeting her sister. They're forming a circle. It's almost like they form a circle, and it's almost like a crown. They form a crown, and then it's like a swirling upward spiral. Upward spiral of gold. It's like the ascension spiral is a spiral as well. So it's like the Syrian collective, but the higher dimensional beings, the higher dimensional light beings, they sort of are out in space almost. It feels like they're out in space, but obviously they're just within no space, within the void. Are there any stars? Almost like there are stars out there, but I don't know. It's just like they're in the void, in the darkness, in the... I don't know where they are. They're just light beings. They're light bodies. They're higher dimensional beings, and they're just beyond the veil. I'm just hearing, we are your soul family. We guide you. We are here for the good of humanity. We're aiding you to transition, no, not transition, we're aiding you, yes, to transition between the dense and the light. Your ascension guides. We know that this is not an easy process. And we see you struggling with your children. Teach them well, teach them by example. And they're kind of saying, yes, what is happening in your world is much different. It is harder, it is a big deal in some respects, but in other respects it's not. In other respects it's nothing. It's all a perspective. So yes, while it may feel big and hard to navigate, it's only as big as you allow it to be. It's only as big as you let it be. And yes, you want these children to show one another kindness, but they need to copy kindness. So the only way up and out is to be the love that you want to see in the world. You can't tell people to be the love. You have to show them how to be the love and be the love yourself. Preaching to people, shouting, force never works. Force creates more force. Love creates more love. It just doesn't seem to work. Just like if I'm quiet and I'm kind, everyone just seems to walk all over me and just be awful to each other. I'm just hearing they will learn. So I'm just sensing when that's happening, if I'm just sending love. Ask for love to be poured down on each of them. Send love. It will calm them. Why did you show me about Pocahontas and her lifetime? Correct. So it's almost like they wanted me to know that she's one of us. She was an aspect of us. She's the 13th daughter of the flame energy. These are almost representatives of the Syrian collective, the higher aspect of the Syrian collective, the overseers. And these are your main guides. And I'm getting a sense of a blue energy again. So they're showing me the new house where we're moving to, and the garden. And it's almost like they're comparing it to where Pocahontas went when she moved to her London home. So they're showing me like lay down on the grass, use the outside space to connect with nature, and the birds and the trees. So the home is not important, but the space outside is. It's like you need to remember to connect, like she did, to the elements, to get outside and to use that space and the ocean. And they're showing me like me on a bike and cycling down. So cycling out, cycling down to the sea, seeing the sea, cycling down to the sea. Then from the sea I'm seeing like swirling lines going up to the stars, to the sky. I'm just seeing this collective of women smiling down. It's like there's a strong connection. I've seen this collective of 13 daughters, ladies, women. The connection goes through the water because they are the divine feminine. It's like the moon energy is connected to the water, so are they. And so I'm seeing myself on the beach and it's dark. And this is how they connect with me. Through the waters, the water, and so we are connected to them, and they're guiding all of us. And it's like these light cords from them to us, much stronger, and they're much more able to communicate with us when we're near the ocean, through the water. Through the waters, the connections are stronger and deeper. Thank you. Is there anything else that I need to know today? I was saying Pocahontas is your guide too. She's here for all of you. It's almost like she's the divine daughter of Earth itself. She'll show you and guide you how to truly connect on a deeper level with all of the elements, the birds. So the lesson from that life is you can't fight force with force, you need to surrender. So just like I need to learn that lesson with them, through them, they also need to learn that lesson themselves. You can't fight force with force, surrender. It's the way to find true power. Surrender without limitations or expectations. The true power is in surrender, not in the fight or the battle, because battles create more battles. When you surrender, you release everything. In the act of releasing and letting go, you rise. So it's almost like it's the only way to rise is to surrender and to let go. We cannot fight our way into evolving. Nobody ever evolved via fighting. When you're down on the ground and you're caught in this fight, this backwards and forwards, this right and wrong, this duality, you will just stay stuck in that mess. It's just like a loud, it's like being stuck in a battle. If you look down from above and you see a battle happening, when you're down in that battle, you're just going to be perpetually fighting. That is a never-ending battle. Duality is that never-ending battle. To rise up out of it, you need to surrender. Just stop the fighting, and just allow yourself to rise up, float up out of that battle scene, and look down on it with peace and calm and tranquility. And that is your true power. And that is all.